Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
Planned Parenthood is attempting to force the facilities around the country to offer abortion by 2013. I am Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. We're going to be talking about the pushback that Planned Parenthood is getting from the clinics. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, this story comes from Margaret Danisfelser, and she has always been on the side of life with Susan B. Anthony list. She's reporting, and the media is reporting, that in fact, Planned Parenthood is wanting to force their clinics all over the country to now begin to participate in abortion. Some of these clinics are saying they don't want to participate in abortion. They want to continue to do what they're doing, but they don't want to participate in abortion. So right now, every Planned Parenthood clinic does not do abortions, but Planned Parenthood as a whole is the largest private abortion provider in the world, or in the country. And now what they want to do is expand their abortion coverage around the country to every single one of these affiliates. And some of these affiliates are pushing back. Some of them are disaffiliating.
Yeah, they're leaving. And, you know, this you got to thank Planned Parenthood for this in a sense, because the mask is off. This has always been about abortion. And this reveals, once again, what we have said all along, that there's a bloodlust here. Planned Parenthood is all about abortion. This is a rite of passage into radical feminism, I guess. And Planned Parenthood has pushed abortion. Now they're actually mandating, unbelievably, that all of their clinics perform abortion homicides within the walls of their facilities. Yet abortion, Matt, there's a documented connection between abortion and risk for breast cancer. Planned Parenthood, you'll recall President Obama saying that cutting funding for Planned Parenthood would mean that women don't get their mammograms. Turns out Planned Parenthood doesn't offer mammograms. They don't seem to be any plans for them to do so, yet now they want to all offer abortions, which can actually lead to breast cancer. Planned Parenthood is not a women's organization.
No, and this is outrageous. We had Mitt Romney, who would only speak about jobs and the economy, like that's the only issue. And certainly it's a big issue. There's no question about that. Don't want to downplay it. It is a big issue. But when the president came out and started to attack Mitt Romney and others, Mitt Romney wouldn't engage back. And when he came out and said during this debate that Planned Parenthood provides mammograms, he knew and the administration knew that they didn't, because earlier in the year it was proven unequivocally that they knew that that was not true. But now what we also have is the president pushing this pro-abortion agenda. Mitt Romney didn't push back.
No.
And what we have now is a president who is the most pro-abortion in history. And now we have Planned Parenthood, who is his friend, that we spend millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars funding in the midst of this economy. We're still funding, throwing millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars to Planned Parenthood. They already have 300,000+ abortions a year. They perform a third of the abortions in the country already in a given year, 300,000. And to get the idea of how big that is, that's half the size of North Dakota or half the size of Vermont. Vermont's only about 600,000 people. This is half the size of that entire state. Planned Parenthood kills half the size of Vermont every single year. Now they want to expand it by forcing all their affiliates to provide abortion, and they're getting pushback. And some of these affiliates say that would be inconsistent with my community. It's inconsistent with what we want to do. So some of them are separating their ways from Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, the Planned Parenthood for years has said every abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. Rare, right. Here they are wanting to expand their abortion enterprise. We know there have been studies showing, too, that the lion's share of Planned Parenthood's profits, despite their protestations and in saying that this is not the case, that they make a ton of money on abortion alone. So they are filling their pocketbooks with blood money is what it is, on the backs of these little unborn children that they're slaughtering throughout these mills. And it's not enough that the existing abortion mills that Planned Parenthood has continue going and continue being funded with our taxpayer dollars at the tune of $350+ million a year. Now they want to expand this abortion enterprise. I guess they're not happy just doing a third of the abortions across America. I guess they want to do all of them, or as many as possible.
Well, you know why? I think it's a culture of death, and death begets death. I mean, this is not about women's right. It's not about women's health care. This not only destroys the innocent human life, but they also make a big profit off of it while they're doing it. It also destroys the woman as well. It's an attack on who that woman is. It's an attack on who she is. Instead of being the protector of the children, they're urging her to go ahead and kill her child. It may be the only child that this woman ever bears because she may become sterile. Or, as we've seen in other situations, post-abortive trauma, where women begin to have the pain and they begin to cover it up by promiscuity or drugs or alcohol, and sometimes it doesn't ultimately get released until much time later. I know you wrote an article about this.
Yeah, an open letter to post-abortive women that was published around the country, and I pointed out, that they're deceived. Women are deceived into believing that this is a panacea. Somehow, this is the way they're going to escape and find freedom from this problem, this unwanted pregnancy that they have, only to later, to figure out that they were lied to, that the problem didn't go away, but instead they have done something horrible, committed a grave sin that cannot be undone in this life. There is redemption and there is forgiveness through Christ Jesus, but women, abortion hurts women. Planned Parenthood hurts women, and it really is all about radical feminism. You go back to the founder, Margaret Sanger. She believed that it was unfair that men got to run around and be promiscuous, so women should be able to be like men and run around and be promiscuous too, rather than reining in men and saying you need to have respect for women. The idea was that everybody can run around and be promiscuous without consequence. So hence birth control, hence abortion. Any consequences to your actions must be preempted. And so, and now, in 1973 on, 55+ million dead babies later, here we are.
Well, also, Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, was an eugenist.
Yeah.
She was a eugenist just like Hitler was a eugenicist. And in fact, they were on the same wavelength. Yeah. Abort those people who are unwanted and the undesirables. And that includes blacks. It includes gypsies. Feeble-minded people in her mind that are feeble-minded. It includes Jews. She didn't like Roman Catholics either. So all of these people would be aborted so you could have this super race, kind of like you have, in her mind, a super race, quote-unquote. Like Hitler wanted to have this, quote-unquote, super race. He wanted to have a certain kind of human being. So she was a eugenist just like that. Marjorie Danisfelser, she talks about the November 6th election. She says that she was there with other friends, and when November 6th happened and she saw that Ohio went for President Obama, there was a lot of tears in the room because she realized that as a result of this, the children would ultimately suffer, that there would be more killing under this administration, more funding of Planned Parenthood. Apparently, Planned Parenthood sees these next 4 years with this Obama administration as an opportunity to get more funding and do more abortions, and so they're really going for the jugular. But she ultimately said, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Still, people were there. They knelt around and they prayed, and they must keep fighting on. We can't get discouraged. We've got to fight. We've got to defund Planned Parenthood. We have to restore a culture of life in this country. That is not an option. Dietrich Bonhoeffer said silence is actually assent, and if you are silent, you are complicit. We can't be silent when these innocent children are being slaughtered.
No, we can't. God is sovereign, and we're just called to be faithful to God, to stand up and be obedient to his commands, to fight for these children who can't fight for themselves, to fight President Obama, to fight Planned Parenthood as they seek to take the lives of these innocents.
Go to Liberty Counsel's website. Instead of getting discouraged about what's happening in the country or around the world or in your community, get encouraged, pray. Obviously, we need spiritual revival in this country, but then act as well. And you can do that through partnering with Liberty Counsel. We are a national litigation, education, and public policy organization advancing religious liberty, advancing the sanctity of human life from the moment of conception through natural death, and family as the union of one man and one woman. And we do that through litigation, through education, and through policy. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. Also, you can go to libertycounsel.com, where you can also be in touch with all of our associated ministries, Liberty Counsel Action and many others, all there as well. lc.org is the place to go, though, to learn more about Liberty Counsel and to remember us in your year-end contributions. You can do an online credit card contribution right there at lc.org. Remember Liberty Counsel in your prayers and your financial partnership at this time of year.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.